Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be doing my presentation on the politics in Africa. Now, there's a lot to go, there's a lot to cover with the politics in Africa, but today I'm going to talk about just the brief um, explanations of how politics and economics and politics and military affected certain nations in Africa. So during this time in the 1790s and the 1890s, these European powers they created mad chaos on this continent. It's extremely complicated and pretty pretty much a mess. So the transatlantic slave trade was the biggest and major impact of the economics in this region at the time. So, with the western, eastern parts of Africa, the human trafficking essentially created elites and created various amounts of wealth among certain people that colonized in these areas. And with that, these colonized elites, they were able to capitalize on a majority of the resources that they were getting from um, the northern and southern Americas, along with resources around those areas as well. And this allowed for the local traders and local markets to not flourish at all. And this created a inequality of money. And with that, these elites were able to have political influence as well, um, and essentially run politics. And that is kind of, you know, um, what we see, kind of today in America, where big businesses have a very big influence on, policies um, in the United States, which we call that, an oligarchy. Um, with that, these growing elites, not only did they have economic power, but they started having, military power as well. Now, whenever they were getting military power, um, they it also involves in economics as well. So, a great example is Ethiopia. Ethiopia was trading resources from their areas, and they were trading it for weapons and guns. And this allowed for that nation to become fairly powerful and um, become very militarized. And, you know, um, at this time, weapons and guns meant power and a powerful military as well. And that which would grow the politics in this country, and then thus making these colonized people richer. So kind of going towards the guns and everything, and military, we'll kind of look at how one major war had on um, the British Empire, and that is the War of Transvaal. Now, Transvaal was the war in Transvaal was essentially the British Empire turning its back on an allied nation called Zulu, and they essentially the British wanted to gain control of the resources like gold and Transvaal. There were three major battles, which the British um, did defeat Zulu in the last major battle, but the Zulu nation, granted, it was very um, it was essentially guns versus swords and spears. the Zulu nation kept its own and defeated the British, I believe, in one major battle. And this only did last this lasted 6 months. This shows that the power of you know these colonized areas like Britain had on the change of policies and politics in these areas, that they could just wage war and go in and gain resources and conquer areas of you know Africa when colonizing there. So in conclusion, these areas, the politics in these areas, economics, politically, militarily, these European nations really saw Africa as very unstable and had the ability to create different policies, take over nations, and take over resources as well. And here are my resources. Go back, I'm sorry, press the wrong button. And here are my resources. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.